guys, welcome back to another video. If you don't know me, I am Dalla and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get perfect photogenic and videogenic makeup that also looks amazing in person. If you've ever struggled with your makeup looking good in videos and pictures, this is the video for you. Also, don't mind the burns on my chest. I also got a chemical burn on my chest and neck from that dermatologist product. If you're wondering what that is, it's another chemical burn. And yeah, let's just get started. So the first step that is super important is skin prep. You can see I already have my skin prepped and ready for makeup. Skin prep is probably one of the most important things because if you have any imperfections on your skin when you're getting either professional pictures taken, ID pictures taken, whatever, those cameras are very high quality, so they're gonna catch every little pore on your face. You're gonna want to make sure to have flawless skin. If you want a flawless face, you're gonna have to do really intense skincare before. It's also good to gently exfoliate your face before putting on makeup. I highly recommend the Mixun Bean Essence before makeup. While you're rubbing it in a circle, it gently exfoliates your face and gets off any dead skin cells. Your skin is smooth and prepped for makeup. Also, another thing that I want to note is to make sure that your skin is very moisturized. You're gonna want your skin to be moisturized, so the makeup just kind of blends into your skin flawlessly. Another thing that I wanted to note is this makeup is gonna be a bit more dramatic. The goal with photogenic makeup is to emphasize your features and make them stand out more, because the camera can kind of minimize your features a little bit and your makeup won't look as prominent on camera. So you're gonna want to use more saturated colors that stand out more, that will show up on the camera, because sometimes camera can wash out colors. And what we're also gonna want to do is fill in as much space on the face as possible. You're not going to want to have any empty space on your face, especially if you have a rounder face like me. You do not want to have any empty space on your face, because what the camera is going to do is it's going to make your face look a lot bigger than it actually is. It's called lens distortion. Right now, if I'm close to the camera like this, you can see that my face looks a bit smaller, right? But all the way back here, my face looks bigger. With this makeup, we're going to be mainly focusing on filling in blank space and adding more emphasis to our features. Cameras are tricky. Being photogenic with makeup is very tricky, but I honestly personally think that I have mastered it. So I am here to teach you guys today. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to be starting out with primer. And I'm going to be using the Etude Glow On Hydra Base Primer. This primer is very good. You can see the texture. It makes your skin very glowy. Let's see. It hydrates the skin very well, which if you have dry skin like me, you're gonna need a hydrating primer. Another tip is you want your primer to be the same base as your foundation. So this primer right here has a water base. Since this primer that I'm using is water based, I'm going to be using a foundation that is also water based. There's oil bases and water bases, but I prefer to use water based since I do have very dry skin because it just hydrates well. If you have dry skin, I recommend a water based product. Going to apply it like this. Now that that's soaked in, I do have very red skin, so I'm going to be using green correcting primer just to kind of settle this down, because this shows up on camera every time. So I'm going to be using the Per 4-in-1 correcting primer. Moving on to foundation, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. Since I'm using more hydrating products that will give me like a skin-like finish, more luminous finish, I will be controlling the shine a bit more, because when you put a lot of glow on your face, you don't want it to be glowy everywhere, because sometimes if you take pictures with the flash on especially, there will be glow in places that you do not want it to be, and it will just look oily. So it's very important to just control the shine. And the method that I'm going to be using today to apply this foundation is the spatula method. It is actually a Korean method that makeup artists for K-pop idols use. You know how K-pop idols always have that super just skin-like finish on their foundation? It's because they're using the spatula method to apply their foundation. Basically what the spatula method is you apply one pump of the foundation, just literally one pump of foundation, and then you get this spatula here, and you just get some of it on here like that. You basically just apply it to your face in as thin layers as possible. Korean makeup artists always use the spatula method because it is very good for layering on your makeup instead of just caking it all on at once. Basically, you're gonna want to apply it to the areas of the face that you want to highlight. So for a round face, this makeup will also be very good for round faces, I should probably mention. For a round face, you're gonna basically just want to apply it to a high point of your face that you want to highlight. So for me, it's about right here. That is the area that I want to highlight. So I'm going to apply it right there. Like that, and you can see just how thin that layer is. You're gonna want to keep your layers that thin. Once you put it on, you're just gonna want to blend it out pretty quickly. You start by blending it out where you put it, and then you get the excess and blend out the rest. Just see how gorgeously that blended in. You can see it just looks like skin. That is what we need to see. And just put it in the same place but on this side, so right here. Like that. And blend it out starting where you put it. And then once that's blended out, you just get the excess on the other side. And you can see it literally doesn't even look like I have foundation on. For the forehead, since I have bangs, I honestly don't really care what it looks like. But for you guys, we're just gonna do the same. For people who don't have bangs, you're just gonna do the same thing. Apply it to the area that you wanna highlight. Blend it out there. And then blend it out. Nose, I'm just gonna do it very lightly, just in the middle like that. Blend it out. Chin. Put it in the midpoint of your chin, blend it out here, and then out. Oh, highest point of it, blend it out. And that is the first layer. Usually, with the spatula method, you do 3 layers, which I'm going to be doing today because I need a bit of coverage here. And you don't even get another pump, you just use the remaining. Now that we are done with our foundation, you can see the finish when you use the spatula method. It really just gives the perfect skin finish, which is what you want if you're going to be on camera. Next, for concealer, I'm going to be using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. What you're going to want to do is wipe off as much as possible because concealer is really where your makeup can start to cake up. So you're going to want to use as little as possible. And basically just conceal the areas that you feel like you need to. For me, it's right there. And I also like to highlight this area. If you have a round face, it's good to highlight there. I like to highlight here. And then just the middle of my chin. And also right there. That's my concealer placements for cameras. I just want to highlight my face more in this area since I have a round face. I want to draw more attention to this area rather than all of this. Basically just blend it out like normal. It is important that you spend your time on this. Don't rush makeup if you're gonna be doing an ID photo or if you're gonna be on camera. Do not rush the makeup because you want it to come out as perfect as possible, because if you're doing an ID picture, this ID picture that you're gonna have for like the next 10 years, so you really want to look your best. So make sure you get up just extra early to make sure that you have enough time. I will use my concealer to kind of spot conceal a little in the acne that I want to cover, so I'm just gonna get as little as possible again and just very lightly cover what I want to cover. I always leave this to just sit for a little bit while I do my powder. I'm using the e.l.f. HD setting powder. It is in translucent. I'm going to be using a powder puff like this. I'm gonna get very little very little. I don't want to put too much because powder is where your makeup can start to cake up, so make sure you're not putting too much. I'm going to be setting my entire forehead, so I'm just going to get all of it on there and set my forehead because I have bangs, sides of my nose. Said if you're doing this makeup, you want to control the oil, so I will be setting here too, because this is an area that you do not want to be shiny because it will make you look oily. To just get a purple powder to put in this area, because like I said, I want to highlight kind of this whole area of my face so it draws attention to here instead of here. Purple powder, not too much, but I will just be putting it there and here. Now that all the powder is done and I am set, I'm going to be moving on to bronzer, and I'm just gonna blend out this with my finger. Now you can see it pretty much looks like my acne is gone. For bronzer, I'm going to be using the Art Class 2 Cool for School bronzer. I'm going to be shading very strategically, so I'm going to shade under here, up here, then I'm going to be shading the sides here. I don't want to get my cheekbones because I don't want my face to look too angled and strong. I'm going to be kind of shading my chin here to give it a smaller appearance. And then obviously I'm going to do my nose contour. Now you can see my face looks a little less round and we just filled in a lot of blank space. For the nose, I never keep it too strong because you can definitely tell on camera when you have strong nose contour and it can look crazy. Just do it very lightly. I do it here. And under here, right here, and under here. I'm really just trying to fill in as much blank space as I can. When I'm doing it in these two areas, I'm doing it to fill in this space, and under here to fill in this area more. I also like to do it right there, because it'll give your mouth kind of like a wider appearance, which when you have a round face, you need to be taking up as much space as possible. And then I'm also just gonna do the sides of my nose very lightly. I'm also going to be doing here to fill in dimension. Blend that all out so it's not too harsh. It is the contour. I definitely added a lot more dimension to my face. Another thing you're going to want is dimension in your face. Now it is time for blush. I'm going to be using the Kylie Cosmetics blush in shade Winter Kiss. If you're a cool tone, this blush is so just perfect. And it's very pigmented, which I like. I'm going to be adding it in this region to fill in blank space, because when you have a round face, you're gonna want to mainly draw attention towards this area, not up here, because if you do your blush up here, it's gonna it's gonna make your face look bigger, especially on camera. So if you want to make your face look smaller, do blush here. Make sure not to go any lower than where your nose is. So make sure the blush is above here. If it's any lower than this, it's going to drag your face down more, which we don't want. So basically, I'm just going to put it in this area. I'm focusing it kind of like under my eye a little bit. And I'm going to kind of bring it to my eye a little bit. Same thing on the other side. Here as well, to add just more color. And down here. If you put blush on your chin, it actually shortens your face a little bit. I like to keep the blush very pigmented because blush just never shows up on camera. And I know it looks crazy now, we just have to blend it out. I just blend it. And we pretty much mattified our face with all of the powder that we have put on, so now we're gonna be adding shine back, but strategically. You're gonna want a very shimmery type highlighter, not a glittery one. You want your highlighter to look like your skin. You don't want there to be any crazy like little miniature sparkles, because that will show up on the camera with the flash. You don't want that. So I'm gonna be using the Glint Stick Highlighter in shade Dewy Moon. And basically I'm just gonna put it at the high points that I want highlighted. So right here. And then I'm just gonna blend it out. It looks like I have a natural glow on my face. On my chin. And on my nose. Just add a little bit of shine back. I do it on my eyebrows. very natural glowy shine. Just to be more precise, I am going to use also Glint's powder highlighter in shade Dewy Moon. A tiny little brush like this. Just do it on my nose right there. And right here. Like that. I'm gonna put it right here to just fill in any blank space. We just have a very natural glow on our face. Next is eyebrows. NYX Micro Brow Pencil in shade Cool Ash Brown. I want to do them not too harsh. Do them more on the natural side with color, because brows will look crazy on camera. It will look a lot harsher than they actually are, especially with arch. Don't do more of a subtle natural arch, because it will look a lot more harsh on camera, because the camera just creates crazy angles. Fill it in and extend it like all the way out here, because this will fill in more, just more blank space. You just want to get rid of as much blank space as possible. So for the arch, I'm just gonna round it. Like that. Just fill it in. Front. Fill in the front a bit darker. So if you fill in your front brow darker, it will draw more attention this way instead of this way. So I like to fill in this area. I like to blend out this. And you can see how that definitely draws more attention this way than that way. That is what we want. Now for the eyes. We are gonna want to make the eyes very, very bold. Pretty dramatic. First things first, for a base, I'm gonna start off with this purple powder just to lighten it up. And just blend it on. And under as well. Do not look good in darker colors on my eyes. It makes me look more tired and just not as good, so I will be using lighter colors. And I'm just going to start off with the Kylie Jenner blush. So make sure that you're using kind of colors that are the same. So use your blush color for your eye color, and then try to match your lips to that as well, and your makeup will be very harmonious. The eyelid, don't put the eyeshadow too high up. Just kind of keep it here, because it can make your eyes look a bit smaller. I'm going to get a smaller brush and the bottom of my eye. You're gonna want to fill in a lot of blank space on the bottom of your eyelid, because especially if you have a longer mid-face proportion like I do, my eyes just look so far up in pictures, so I always try to bring everything closer together. Like with the blush placement there, I filled in a lot of blank space. Now we have to fill in the blank space here. I do tend to make my bottom eyes more dramatic. I also kind of like to cover this area of my eyes to add a bit more dimension. This also will make the eyes look a bit bigger. I'm gonna kind of blend it out to make sure that there's not any harsh lines anywhere. I'm going to add a bit more dimension to my eyes using my Dior palette in shade Cool Neutrals. This shade right here. And then I'm gonna just put it right here. We're trying to make our features more dramatic. We'll do it a bit darker than usual. So gonna add it right here. This will make your eyes look a lot bigger and add dimension. Now I'm going to draw my eye bags. I'm gonna draw them a bit lower than usual to fill in blank space. Drawing your eye bags will make your eyes look like 40 times bigger, and it will make your eyes look more like kind of awake and alert. Just squint to see mine, and I'm just gonna do them right there. And I'm also doing it with this shade too. I'm just gonna draw it out. Fills in just so much blank space. And I'm gonna define this part of my eye a little bit and get this shade. And that just added so much more dimension, you can see. I'm going to add some double eyelid tape, because as you can see, my eyes are uneven, and it shows up so badly on cameras and it makes this eye look crazy, so I always use double eyelid tape. If there's only 2 left, it just looks like that. I just put it right there, right where my crease is, and it gives me a double eyelid. Now it is time for eyeliner. I like to just draw out my eyeliner with a little eyeliner brush. I'm gonna do it probably about there. I'm gonna use this ColourPop eyeliner in shade black. So now that the eyeliner is done, we are going to tightline the eye. For that, I'm going to be using this gel eyeliner from Clio. I always tightline my eyes with this. Your eye. And you can just see the difference. It just defines your eyes so much and just makes it look so much better. This will look great on camera. I'm not putting on any fake lashes, but you can if you want. If you're going to be putting on fake lashes though, please don't do lashes that are like crazy and like super full, because if you do, it'll create a really dark shadow under your eye on camera and it just will not look good, and it'll make your eyes look a lot smaller actually. So opt for more wispy fake lashes. I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty mascara how I usually do. I don't really have any special technique. I'm going to try not to clump them together because that never ever looks good on camera. And for bottom lashes, I am going to accentuate those. This will add way more dimension to the eye and it will bring it down a bit more and just make the eyes look more bigger. Now it is time for sparkles. I'll be using a more muted one because I don't want it to look too crazy on camera. So I'm going to be using this one by Glint, and it is just a gel highlighter, as you can see. Very pretty. But first, before I do that, I'm going to be using this Glint highlighter just to make a little bit of shine. I'm going to use my fingers just to add more of like a natural shine. And you can see it just kind of added a shine. I'm just going to dip my finger in the glitter and just put it on. Tap it on. If you tap it with your finger, it goes on a lot better. I'm just going to do the same process for my bottom lid to add more dimension. Glint. Do it right here. Get the glitter and put it on the bottom as well. But I'm only putting the glitter in the middle. Now it is time for the lips. I'm going to start off with a liner, and this one is more of like a contour than liner. At least the shade that it's in. It's in shade 05, and it's the Romand one. More of like a contour shade, so I kind of use it as a contour. And I do it here and all under here, and I kind of touch up the inner corners like that, and it also has a blending side. And I blend it out. I'm going to use this Romand lipstick. It's the perfect, just neutral, cool tone color. It's in shade 10. And to fill in my lips. And I always overline my bottom lip just a little bit more than usual because my chin always looks so big on camera for some reason. So I always just like to overline it a bit more on the bottom and a tad bit more on the top. I use this Romand Juicy Lasting Tint in shade 25 Bear Grape. It is just a very natural color. I'm just gonna apply it. If I'm on camera, I like to define my lips just a little bit more, so I'm using this Etude Fixing Tint in shade 14 Rose Lilac in the middle. And blend it. I'm going to use this Romand Lasting Water Gloss in shade 00 Meteor Track and just put it all over. Especially up here. And I also like to add moles to my face, so I'm just going to use my ColourPop eyeliner from earlier and just add them. And this is the finished makeup. I'm going to go ahead and take out my bangs and then I'll come back. that is the finished product of the makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you end up doing this makeup and loving it, make sure you send it to me. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial. If you like this video and you want to see more of me, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment any other video ideas that you may have, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!